あの人。
Maybe I have a chance. You goddamn crocodile! Go back to the fucking Florida! Go back to the Florida, you fucking crocodile!
Yeah, I'm in favor of execution. Maybe our entire team needs to be executed after tonight.
Oh yeah, that's what I like to see. Oh yeah.
Slippery little bastard! Making the mother of all omelets here, Jack. Can't spread over every egg.
I don't care. No one asked, bro. Gosh.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Andrew Esquire here, starting here a little bit late, but I'm still here today to talk to you guys about VTubing. It's been a while since we've had a VTuber specific episode, so we're here today to drop that with you guys. I'm also in a new Airbnb, so it took me a while to set everything up, and I needed to make sure things look okay. Maybe we will have some lag, maybe. I hope not too much. So hopefully we're all right here. I do appreciate everybody here. I know some of you are here exclusively for the scuff, and we definitely had some scuff today. So thank you for that. We're also going to be joined by a guest here in a second. I actually invited two people. One of them is here, so I'm going to be putting them on in a second. But let's get some of these memberships first, so I get through this. Direwolf became a new member. Welcome, and gifted 5 Legal Mindset memberships. What's up, Direwolf? King Lugia gifted 10 Legal Mindset memberships. Thank you. Doug Diaz gifted another 5 Legal Mindset memberships. Phoenix Diaz gifted 20 Legal Mindset memberships. So we got to get some love on that one. And I got to get through these VTuber clips because we got a lot. So I guess a Shy Lily would be appropriate given some of today's topics.
Woof.
And well, let's do a little bit more than that.
Do you even know what you're saying? Card man? I don't even understand. I'm fucking illiterate. Do I look like I know how to read? No! I don't know how to read.
What's up, guys? Just another guy for 5 Legal Mindset memberships. Thank you so much. JP Ravenfire. For my awesome mod. Thank you, JP, for 5 Legal Mindset memberships. And then we've got another 5 from Doug Diaz and a big 50 from Rigo. I think we'll get a long ya go.
Long,
All right, which will kind of tie in today, actually, pretty neatly. Darker Binding for 20 Legal Mindset memberships. Thank you guys so much. Incredibly based.
Hello, best department.
Not a sin. I cannot absolve you. Mega based.
Super base. Thank you guys for all the memberships there. After we got through that run, that is a significant amount. I appreciate it. I appreciate everybody that joined today. Thank you for becoming part of the BLM, the Base Legal Mindset. All right, let me introduce my guest here. And she is, of course, a good friend of the channel, and that is my friend Ava Elfire. How's it going? What's up, Ava? Good morning or evening, wherever you are. If you don't lag, let's see if she's lagging. But
Hello.
Oh, cool. Welcome.
The delay might be okay. It might not be. I'm not sure. It's really weird. I'm not sure what's going on, but like in StreamYard, it doesn't work.
It's interesting. So maybe StreamYard maybe it's StreamYard's fault that I need to start using OBS dedicatedly. But I will get on that. But I do appreciate you being here and stopping by, even if it doesn't work out. Thanks for stopping by. Of course, Ava is an actual lawyer, which is why I tend to appreciate her thoughts on things, because, you know, as we go through a lot of the topics today, people are asking me some of the legal consequences and whether there can be legal consequences for them. You know, whether it's intentional infliction of emotional stress, whether it's tortious interference with contract. We actually hear those a lot that come up. And we're going to go through a lot of topics today. On the docket is we're talking about Gura. Hell, we're going to have to throw in Ike, because we just got breaking news that Ike Everland is leaving Niji Sanji. We got Matara. We've got Kirsha. We've got Cinder. So we've got a full docket. A full docket today. So a lot to get through today, but I am happy to have her here and have everybody that's viewing the show here. So thank you all for coming and stopping by. All right, so let me get some of these other comments here. Also, Direwolf gets in another 5. Thank you so much, Direwolf. Appreciate you, brother. Kimar Lumi says VOD Frog entered the, hey, wait a minute, this isn't a VOD. No, it's a live. I'm here for the scuff, says feet pics because you're late. No. But nice try. I do appreciate the effort. I'll give you some, you know, I won't give you my feet, because that is never going to happen ever, unless it's an accidental beach photo, which will probably happen at a certain point and thus destroy my entire my entire defense. But let's see. Can I give the people what they want?
Oh yeah, that's what I like to see. Oh yeah.
There we go. I got you. Not mine. Pippa's here to work for you. Okay. We've got Genghis Khan Pope saying BLM, saying boo, late mindset. Guyvin Young for 5 Singapore says, what a coincidence. The below legal mindset thumbnail is Mujin coverage on a precisely similar topic that lasts almost 2 hours. Yeah, I posted this like yesterday because I was going to stream in the morning. Okay, sure. I was going to stream in the morning, your morning Eastern time US, my evening, last evening for me. But I thought about it and I said, well, for VTubing topics, particularly English coverage, most people are in America. Whereas for my nuisance streamer coverage, there's a lot of people in Asia. And it's a very heavy Asian audience. So streaming in my evening or your morning tends to be very good for my nuisance streamer coverage, but not really good for my VTuber coverage. So I said, I think more of you guys are going to be awake in the evening because you are degenerates, which is absolutely known.
Degenerates. You guys degenerates.
And you are up into the ungodly hours of the night watching your Oshis. So I know this. I know this is a fact. So I decided to switch this over for the degens and make sure I'm properly catering to the degens. Like my friend Josh here says, what's up, Special Weeb Unit? Yo, what's going on? Are you busy filing that case against Nicholas, the Coke Pope? Hopefully you get on that. But big shout out to Josh. He's a good friend of mine. I really now a longest expat friend in Asia. So big shout out to them. Great channel, Meme Copium. If you want to know about Japan, Anaka Adventures is the place to go to get all of your itineraries for Japan. Great guy over there in Osaka. Ruchi for 5 says, you must rebrand to Late Mindset. Also, thanks for accepting the suggestion to use an audio cutout as a censor. It's way better. Yes, Eagle, my clipper, he actually, before I even DM'd him to do it, he's like, I heard it, I saw the audience, they want to cut out, we're going to do it, so we're going to censor that way. We do have to censor stuff because, especially with my nuisance streamer coverage with Ramsey Khalid Ismail, he says way too many curse words for clipped video. We get away with it in live streams because after a certain length, YouTube stops even analyzing them. They just kind of like let it be. So you can get away with a little bit more cursing in a live, but with the shorter videos, we really got to make it more clean. Abu says, do you abstain, abscond, ascend, or abide nuisance streamers? I want to end them. So, just another guy says, for once, I'm not late to the stream. Welcome. Ryobi says, Mr. Lawyer, sir, for your lateness, we the chat demand mangoes for all us mangoes. I'm still injured here, guys. I'm still feeling the wrath of the mango. Silbury says, I Gundam your lateness. I forgot my VTuber audience is the absolute worst people.
Fuck you!
Fuck you! Fuck you, fuck you! Fuck you!
Said it. He said, legal mindset, never beaten the latent gay allegations. Brandon says, we the chat do not condom this lateness. Rico says, it is unacceptable to be this latent gay. You got lost after using Hank's love rack. No.
Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no.
Oh, it's so bad. So bad. Nero says, Degens, rise up for our VTuber news lawman. Fallen Shadow the Prophet says, I'm here for the scuff. VTuber art and rig are done and ready to go. Hey, thanks, Chicky Massa. Appreciate that. Awesome. Dr. McNugget for 0.99. Thank you. Phoenix DS for 20 legal mindset memberships. And Super Korean for another 10. Thank you so much. Yes. Appreciate that, Phoenix, and appreciate that, Super Korean. Very much appreciate it. He also says, stop by to show my support for my favorite lawyer. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. Repton also says, I condom your injury, time to rinse with a shower. Also, I know this is off topic, but thank you to everyone that's donated to Dalgoon on my nuisance streamer coverage. I had a donut operator reach out to me today, and he was asking me how much was left in the fine and how much he had left on the PayPal. And I talked to Dalgoon, and he's received, I think, about half the money he needs. So I let him know that, and he says he's going to make a donation. He's going to pay for it. So I do also appreciate all of you guys and my VTuber fans that have stuck around for my coverage of nuisance streamer topics. I really is much appreciated. And, you know, for people that like to go to Japan, which is the VTuber audience really loves to go and visit places like Japan and other countries in Asia, keeping them peaceful and nice in a place that we all love to visit and that everybody feels comfortable in visiting helps the VTubing industry as well, because people can go to those countries, travel to those countries, and it's necessary to appreciate the culture in which that is based and rooted in, right? Because we have to understand that obviously a lot of this is coming out and rooted in Japanese culture, and understanding Japanese culture, being able to go to Japan and get a realistic view of it, the good and the bad, is I think part of the experience. And I know a lot of my friends, I know, for example, my friends Rima, Parrot, DN, were all over there in Japan recently and had a great time. So I would love to let more of my friends come to Japan and have a great time and not have to deal with annoying nuisance streamers. Napoleon Johnamite Mugen says, seeing Gura graduate tomorrow will suck. I know. We're going to talk a little bit about that today. Janat Drago for 100 Thai baht, Nungroy, says, for being on time, have a toasty sandwich on me. I literally ate a ham and cheese toasty last night. It was delicious. And then I had a ramen. If you guys are probably over, anybody who's over here on this side, you may have been to the chain. Let me pull it up. A ramen. Like, it is really, really, really good. Is this the one? There's multiple locations. But if you've ever been to a ramen, it is quite good. Here, I'll pull up the chain website. So it doesn't dox the one that's closest to me. This was really freaking good last night. And this was my actual dinner. So this was my, I did get it probably a little too spicy, but it was quite good. A ramen, highly suggest it. I'm not sponsored by them or anything. It's just fucking good. It was just really, really good. So check out a ramen if you're ever over on the Asia side. Phoenix Diaz says, feeling a mindset, scuffed in more ways. Felsa said, wait, wrong VTuber. Ditzy said, Niji Sanji's back on the menu. Niji Sanji. We're going to talk about Niji Sanji today a little bit. Hidden J Power says, hi, Andrew. Since Not Like Us is not copyrighted, when does RKI get that intro for trying to strike up a chord? It's probably a... Well, here's the thing, Hayden. A lot of stuff that's technically not copyrighted, I get copyright claims submitted over. So it's really weird, but... I get copyright claims on stuff that's supposed to be public. So it's really something with music I'm very cautious about. Just a dank raven for 10 legal mindset memberships. Thank you. Very dank and very based. Thank you for that. Genghis Khan Pepe for 20 Canadian says, well, I'm not a VTuber fan still. I'd like to thank Archive for indirectly sending me to you. I'm the dude writing a sci-fi universe needing legal help with Korea, Japan, China. I appreciate the hell out of you, man. Oh yeah, that's awesome, man. And we'll definitely chat about that, okay? Obviously, I remember, I've got your email. I remember that one. Yes. But it's awesome, the community of people that have been brought together by the topics that I cover. Like I said, I'm getting running. My anonymity is going away. Shout out to Will. I'm not going to, I don't know any more of his name, just Will, who ran into me yesterday in front of a Taco Bell as I was getting lunch tacos, because, you know, that is what one does. And he's like, you're the lawyer guy. I'm like, oh, here we go. All right. And he was super nice. We talked for a bit. And he found me during the Somali coverage. So my anonymity, even here in the Kingdom of Thailand, is decreasing. Elpire Ava says, I'm so sorry. It seems my ISP is throttling me badly. Your camera and audio is robotic. I'm going to try to fix it. I'm sad. It's okay. Hey, Ava, just chill. It's good. I'd rather not be doing the robot, you know, like the robot every single time. But we'll get it figured out in the future. Sergeant Buck for 10 says, given the author of Kirsch's hit piece didn't mark it as opinion, I wonder what stating she has for defamation, and if proving that charge is an uphill battle. We will talk about that. Logical Beast for 5 says, I wasn't expecting a stream at this hour, 4 a.m. here for the UK. Curious, any EU time zone folks? Anyway, I'm not seeing you cover VTubers. Yeah, so some people were shocked that I'm in the VTuber space, but I've been pretty fucking consistently commenting since Niji Sanji. Now, just because I don't cover VTubers all the time, right, I guess I don't officially make the drama tuber title, or maybe I don't know. I mean, I've been covering Ramsey, Khalid Ismail, and nuisance streamers pretty much for the last 6 months, but I have been bringing up some VTuber issues. And when things come up that merit it, they need to be talked about. And there's two big branches we have today. We have one of a lot of interference, potential defamation. We got libel. We've got interference with contract, tortious interference. We've got that sort of thing going on. And then we've got more of corporate stuff that's going on. Speaking of stuff that has no pertinence to anything, Reza says, I farted. No. Wait. Yeah. Kirna says for 5, no, Andrew, it's okay. We know you're crying into your beer after Gara's last karaoke. Yeah, that is very sad. Indeed. I mean, it's truly sad. Look, people love Gura, and you know, a lot of people got into VTubing, period, because of Gura. So we'll talk about Gura first, actually. She's the first topic I want to talk about. Because, you know, that when you lose someone that was that person, right? You know, and we got that on the first stream here, when we got that over here with the important announcement, which, you know, has already had 3.2 million views over here. You know, it's been around for so long, brought so many people into this. That's going to be a huge impact, and you can't try to write it off. Yeah, I said 2 weeks ago, right? Yeah. So when you have that much of an impact, you can't just write it off and shrug it off and say it's going to be negligible, right? And to Cover's credit, they haven't made any foolish statements about it yet. They haven't put their own foot in their mouth. So let me see if I can grab some stuff here. Oh, Nanos has been following, says, Reedy Creek, hey, what's up? You just keep hitting topics I'm interested in. Much love from fellow Florida man. Hey, shout out to my Florida man. Komodo Varga draws, give a heart. Thank you. Rolando says, Hank's love rag always causes emotional cabbage. So good. Jam Jom says, Bal's video response was heartbreaking. I have not seen that yet. I will have to watch that. Phoenix says, we're getting a Weeb unit opening. We are trying. Ewu Ino says $5 for the based Karuzuna AI clip. More money than Vitaly has in his vittles today. I know, Vitaly with his 70 peso rations. Ruby says, when you get a VTuber model, you should do some 40K stuff as a rite of passage. A lot of VTubers like Matara, Yuzu, and others are into 40K. Cool. I love 40K. We'll be happy to do some 40K content. Brandon says, Isekai is life. Opai is best in life. May we all get Truck-kun into the next life. Been too long. Glad to see you. Hey, good to see you, brother. Mr. Kangaroo says, good day, boss. You talking about angry cops blowing the whistle on Buffalo Public Schools? People keep asking me about that, so I think I'm going to have to do that maybe on a member stream. but I will look into it. Yes, I'm going to look into it. Once again, I have a lot of stuff I'm covering, a lot of information that on my principal topic, which is nuisance streamers, but I will look into it. Mama Akko says, where Elf gone? Elf gone. She keeps popping back in and out, but from what she said, her connection isn't good, or maybe it's my fault because I'm using StreamYard, and that might be throttling her. So I'm not sure exactly what it is, or it might be my internet connection here being meh. Who knows? Felsu says, hey, look, I'm Eternally 17. Anime stream request submitted. Cool, we're going to have an anime stream, don't worry. Riku says, been a minute since I've been able to catch stream. Howdy, LM. Hey. And then I'll get this last one from Rigo, who says, base donut operator. He and the rest of the unsubscribed crew are good people. Agree with whoever said it earlier. I'd like to get an analysis by Rich or HY on blowing the whistle on the Buffalo Public Schools. Okay, cool. I will look into that, guys. Once again, I'm very sorry I can't hop on every topic that's requested of me immediately because I get so much information, and especially if it's on something nuisance stream really like RKI or Vitali, I'm on it. And by the way, we may have a huge break on Vitali soon and some real big information on Vitali dropping soon. So this is the type of stuff I have. I can't talk about everything. I'm under like confidentiality for certain things, mostly personal confidentiality, because people tell me to keep stuff secret, and I do that regardless of whether they're a client or not, regardless of whether it's a lawyer-client relationship. But that said, I do try to look at other topics when a lot of people point them out. So I do want to say thank you guys and good morning. And I'll take a little break here as I sip this. Let's use a Ramsey clip because this one is always so perfect.
Are you guys enjoying the stream today?
Just in time for Meiji, high protein, zero sucrose added. No sponsorship. I do need to be sponsored by somebody. All right. RGX Dare says, Same, I got into VTubers because of Goomba. Oh, there we go. Eagle, my clipper says, missed debuts were my intro to VTubers. 07 Gura. There we go. See, and it's confirming what is very, very true. Sloopin also says, love your Mtuga, bro. We cover Alberta separation. That would be fun. Also, Octera says, I suppose the stream was inevitable. Cursed month. Yes. So let's start with Guru. Okay, so I know this is probably the oldest of the news, and most of you probably know what generally has been said there. Is that Gura is obviously leaving HoloLive due to disagreements with management, right? You guys probably already caught, once again, the important announcement. To me, I think there were a lot of gut reactions to this initially, and they were kind of in two different camps of Cover Corp is going to be totally okay and this doesn't matter and whatever, or it's the end of the world and HoloLive is now going to be completely dead and it's over, boys. They're full Niji Sanji. It's done. Which, by the way, even saying they're full Niji Sanji, as we're going to see, doesn't really mean what it used to mean. But I think there was a lot of extremes there. And I'm glad to see, at least looking at it 3 weeks in the future, it seems to have mellowed out where people realize, okay, HoloLive is not going to go anywhere, but it's going to go in a different direction, right? And I think when you look at corporations, especially big corporations, even when they make really bad decisions, and let's look outside the VTuber industry, because guys, you got to remember, I worked as corporate counsel, so I have seen big corporations make really bad decisions. It takes them years to course correct if they ever do that. Large corporations that are publicly funded can exist as effectively zombie corporations almost for a decade or 2 decades. They can just be out here kind of doing nothing, right? Holding the IP, the intellectual property they have, and kind of just existing. So don't expect them to suddenly be financially ruined within 1 or 2 months and it's going to be over. Yeah, somebody in the chat said Disney. Yes, from my other coverage, right? Even when you make really, really bad decisions, you can still recover. And companies do this all the time. They make horrible decisions that are completely against their business interest, but they don't die tomorrow. Yeah, and somebody also mentioned Sears, Toys R Us, right? These things, once again, you can exist for a while before you're bought out or you're sold or whatever else, right? So don't expect HoloLive to just suddenly fold up or get bought out by FaZe Connect in tomorrow. Yeah, Ubisoft, who mentioned Ubisoft in the chat. I saw that. That's a good one. And yeah, even with people keep mentioning Disney, even before they started conceding and cracking and changing a little bit, it takes them 5 to 10 years because they're able to get cash, especially when it's cheap. They're able to borrow on the cheap and they're able to take risks and do things that may not be financially viable, but they're in the corporate direction they want to go. Now, we will probably never know what the direction exactly HoloLive, what their exact picture is. I think we have broad strokes maybe, and we're going to get those broad strokes, I think, from their next corporate filings when we look at what they have there. But we're probably never going to know exactly what the reason is why Gura had disagreements with management. And let's also be clear here, a disagreement with management, and this is going to apply with Matara, this is going to apply with others we're going to talk about, a disagreement with management may be a benign disagreement, meaning something that is relatively simple, right? So you might disagree with the amount of times you have to stream per week. That's not something that is unreasonable from either side to disagree about. Maybe the company says we want you to stream twice a week and you want to stream once a week. Or they want you to stream 5 days a week and you want to stream 4 days a week. That's relatively benign. It's not evil to have different expectations of people. Or they want a 60-40 cut of the revenue and you want a 50-50 cut. And now I know some people may say, well, that's huge, that's massive. That can be the type of disagreement you can have. But on the other hand, you can have disagreements with management, like them not properly helping you, like them bullying you, like them forcing you to do things you don't want. So there are evil disagreements with management, stuff like in the Selen situation, in the Doki Bird situation, that's relatively what I would say on the eviler management side, and stuff that's on the more benign business negotiation side. So there's that. So there's that. It's easy, as people say, I think it's easy to tell Gura was just done with the spotlight. I mean, maybe. And people say it did not sound benign. Well, once again, I don't think because of NDAs we're going to get the entire story. And this is what I'm going to get to with also, because now we're seeing Matara step down from VShojo, right? So we've got that one here as well. And I'm gonna wrap these things together because they're very related. And Matara, I think, when she said here in her announcement, this just happened the 28th, VShojo made the decision to part ways with me March 6th, effective May 5th. I thank the girls plus Kuro for the great times we had together and the wonderful moments we shared in the last 18 months. I wish the remaining talent of VShojo the best of luck. I love them very much, and I will carry on being their bug auntie. I will continue streaming as Matara-Con because I am Matara-Con, and I hope that Momos can still cheer me on, even if I won't be Matara-Con of VShojo. So I think those situations with you have larger corporations, VShojo, HoloLive, that are large enough, I think what we will see is NDAs that are actually being enforced. And I think we're actually going to see the corporations doing a better job of making sure that the terminations don't go Doki Bird, because they saw the financial damage of that. And I don't think any corporation, whether it's HoloLive, whether it's VShojo, whether it's FaZe Connect, right? I don't think anybody wants a repeat of the bad terminations. They've all seen what that does and the negative PR that comes from that. So I think that is something that all corporations are trying to avoid. Generally, the financial cabbage. Yes, the financial cabbage. Okay, so that's what I want to get. Now let's talk about the finances, because it's actually very interesting. Let's actually look at the 1 year charts, which is very, very interesting with this. So here's the Cover Corp stock. So it is down. Now, is it, and by the way, we're using Buddhist years, so, get used to my Buddha years here. So essentially, and by the way, to get to Buddhist years, you add 543. So that's kind of an easy way to get to it. But anyways, you can see the stock is down here. Now, is it at a historic low? Is it as low as it was like 5 years ago or whatever else if we go to the 5-year chart? No, it's not like at a point where it's like March 2023 where it's down at like 1,000 yen. No, we're still got some value, right? We're still hanging in there. But in the 6th month chart, yeah, we're doing very, very bad. So it's not looking good right now in general for Cover Corporation in the shorter term. In the longer term, are they going to zero? No, the answer is no. They're not going to zero. They're not going to not exist as a company. However, I think this definitely hurts the direction of HoloLive EN because it's going in a way that may deviate from their existing fan base. And we're going to talk about Ike. Don't worry about it. We're going to get to Ike. Okay. Well, let's actually talk about Niji Sanji right now. So let's talk about Let's talk about Anycolor versus HoloLive. So we've talked about the kind of decline of the stock there. Now there are some other factors here going in with Anycolor, but Anycolor is actually shown a recovery, particularly over the past month. So I think what you could say is that the departure of Gura was actually seen by investors in Anycolor as a bull sign, essentially saying, hey, look, these are the two big dogs. So if they're losing, we stand to gain. So I think that's something that's getting now. One thing you have to mention with Anycolor stock is they are engaged in aggressive stock buybacks, which means Riku is taking money out of the yacht fund and he is putting it specifically into buying back stock aggressively. So they are essentially putting money into inflating this number. So some amount of this gain over the last year, some amount of this gain is due to Riku buying stock back. However, you could say that comparatively to Cover Corporation, right? Line go up, right? Line go up. Now, we've also got, and I'll bring this up because somebody else brought this up. This was breaking. I got this from False. So big shout out to Falside, who always drops some good information on the VTuber sphere. But Ike Everland of Niji Sanji English has now announced his graduation effective immediately. All of Ike's content has been removed from his YouTube channel. Fulgur Ovid, as previously announced, is set to graduate. So an effective immediately graduation. Now, what's interesting about Ike, and correct me if I'm wrong, chat, was Ike not one of the ones on the black screen video? Was Ike not one of the ones? Now, is it possible that we get more of the rat confirmed here now that he's gone? I mean, if this is a bad faith or a bad situation and he's able to, get free of that NDA or feel freer to talk, I would love to hear that side of the story. I would love to hear the full side of that story. Yeah, the last speaker. Yeah, okay. I mean, that would be great. That would be great. The rat. It would. I mean, just to be back. Oh, and also Ava, no need to apologize. I know your internet's it's your internet. It's my internet. It's us. It's us. We didn't work together today, baby. I'm so sorry. Andrew chat. I'll still be chat. No, we appreciate you, Ava. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you always. And go and give her a follow. She's a great content creator. Ryobi Pretend says, I remember watching and hearing Fauna saying she left because she wanted to do streaming as she is a streamer. I think she meant the company is leaning towards one of the idol, and that may be it. And to be honest, is that evil? No. The company wants to go in a direction and you want to go in a different one. That doesn't necessarily mean it's evil or bad. That just means you have two different visions and those don't align. And honestly, guys, in business, it is normal for these things to happen. But what sucks and what is horrible in the VTuber sphere is that you lose your identity. I know there's a taboo about talking about this, and I am very respectful of the VTuber community and the, talking about PLs, past lives, etc. Right? But I think we're at a point where we can say, okay, we kind of know, like, we kind of know when we saw certain accounts being active, Gura is going away, and then we're suddenly getting pings from other accounts which are known. It's not the same though. I mean, people cultivated that audience with everything in that specific package, and even though they're going to go on, right? Even though Selen, reemerged, right? The egg hatched, and there's Doki Bird, right? You wish that it could stay the same, right? And because that's what maybe you fell in love with, and that's what maybe you came to. So it isn't a 1-for-1 change, but at least it's bittersweet to know that there's beauty that's still going to go on and fun that's still going to be had in the future, perhaps in a different form. Taking advantage of young creators is not cool. And to any extent that people do that and corporations do that, I believe it's very scummy. And that's one of the reasons why I got into this, because it was scummy to hear. Rayobi said, I must confess, I got into VTubing not because of Hololive or Face Connect, just because of Niji ID when it was still around. Oh, cool. Mainly Hana Machia, because of interactions with her and her father were great. Cool. Nahan says, let's be real, Hololive going to last longer than Niji. Well, not that hard. Not that hard. Garling says, just for a minute, I thought Indies would start to have as big of a presence as Hololive, then the Cinder Nation attack. Well, just wait, we're gonna be around. We're gonna get to that. Markson says, have you heard of the anime game My Little Dictator? No, but I will look it up. Beer Bottle says, by the way, I wonder if you have any insights what Gamer subs are gonna do after seeing Cinder is also a shareholder. Wait, what? How is the Gamer sub situation getting more complicated? Mac Recruit Pierce says, look at my thumbnail. I can't believe you and the Google Doc key incident situation and apocalypse. Okay, cool. I think I see it. I think I see it. Nahan says, the Cinder drama was terrible. What surprised to me is an AI VTuber called Neurosama. Yes, Neurosama was able to predict this going to happen during her collab. I saw that. Neuro knows. Solon says, if the shark is swimming away, why? I'm not feeling relieved. So sad. It is very sad. Nuclear Falcon says 14 months already. I learned a lot. Yeah, 14 months since we covered the Doki stuff originally. Napoleon Johnamite says Yago doesn't seem to have a Riku mindset. He at least aims to learn and fix things. Well, Riku is like, we're fine, just fix the sinking, just ignore the sinking yacht. Yeah, look, I think Yago, look, if the company tells him to go in a direction, he has to go in that direction, especially the board of directors. He can't go against them. He can't say, hey, F you, I'm not going to do what you tell me, board of directors. And so I think that he will do a good job at steering them in the direction he's told, but there's only so much you can do. And to be honest, guys, if a company is going to go in a different direction, it's better that you leave. I know that it sounds bad, but if you don't like the direction a company is going, any company, just leave. And it doesn't have to be a bad thing. Appreciate and love the time you had together with that company. I love my companies that I've worked with. I really do. But some of them were going in a different direction, and I didn't want to ride out that direction with them. Some of them wanted me to keep doing what I'm doing forever, and I didn't want to do that. I wanted to grow. I wanted to, level up. And they said, nope, you've hit the level cap, and you can't power level anymore. You're done. You just got to grind. And some people are okay with grinding, and some people, want to complete all the side quests, right? Sleazy says, for 10, Weeb just broke 1K. So take some of my shekels, you absolute legend. Hey, good. We're almost at 2,000 viewers, which is pretty awesome. Appreciate everybody who's here. Razgriz says, I tagged you. Have you seen the Robbie Meta AI lawsuit where Meta AI said he was convinced of stuff kids should be taken? No, I have not. And probably will not get to it because I have too many topics right now to cover. Sorry. There's just too many. I can't. I'm full. I'm full. Silbury says, whenever I show visual comparisons of graduations between Niji and Hollow, and the nuance shows up real quick. Hollow retention until now is abnormal. Well, that is something positive. And then Silbury continues by saying, for 5, people also don't just keep their jobs forever. This is in the 1970s. I'm happy the Hollow memes have the freedom to leave gracefully. Right now, the average job retention is less than 2 years. So in the United States and in most Western countries. But let's use the United States. It's less than 2 years. People are not staying in jobs like they used to for 20 or 30 or 40 years. So if, the fact that we got 5 years of a VTuber, 5 years of a VTuber is actually beating the numbers. That's like super loyal for a VTuber. Right. Yeah. All right. Let's see here. One more and we're going to go. Glaucia Aquila Nike Photos Fed Limited. So some people are speculating that Ike has been shadow terminated because it's incredibly similar to Yugo Osuma's graduation shadow termination. Do you think it's? I think there's something that goes on. Why would you terminate him effective immediately? That is not normal. So something happened. And it's something weird. But effective immediately is, yeah. Cry Cabot says VTubers are the Sofa King QT fast. Okay, thank you. Also, Ryobi said a real loss is for the Dodgers. They won due to HoloLive, especially Gura. Gura became a lucky charm. They even won 8-5, which could be read as you go, which was the best. Oh, interesting. Oh, also, Sindamani says, you mean a phone call doesn't equal bankruptcy like in the mini C-dramas? Shock, horror, fiction, lies. Yes, this is not going to turn that way. Rigo also says, for us normals in the back, what's the black screen? So, in case you don't know, another VTubing company, Niji Sanji EN, which operates as AnyColor, that's their corporation. HoloLive, which is the other kind of two. If you think about like Coke and Pepsi in the Japanese VTubing world, now they've put tendrils out into the English-speaking world. That's the easiest way for the normies. Is these two corporations, Cover Corporation and AnyColor Corporation. AnyColor owns Niji Sanji EN, and Cover owns HoloLive. And they're considered at least the big two. Now, there are others that are generally smaller or more independent or don't operate more under the Japanese model. Companies I mentioned like VShojo or Phase Connect. We've got Brave. We've got other corporations out there. But there was a black screen video that came out of Selen Tatsuki, who was a Niji Sanji EN talent, was very successful, was amazing, but had some problems with management of a very, very, very problematic sort that resulted, unfortunately, in some very large stress on her life. And I need to be careful about how I say this. This is YouTube. There was a self-deletion attempt and there was a recovery from that, and they were not at all thoughtful about that and ended up terminating her. And then they went with a bunch of bad press trying to pin things on her, blame her, use the contract to bully her, and they did a famous screen, which was this black screen video, in which 3 of the talents came out and essentially tried to gaslight her into taking the blame. And she is now recovered. Sorry, it wasn't just 1, it was 2 attempts. Yes, sorry. She is recovered. She is doing fantastic. In fact, as JP said, she's doing very well as Doki Bird. It is no surprise. Once again, this is not like information that is hidden. I know that past lives are very important here. She is now soaring as Doki Bird. And this is something that I came in and covered originally, and I'm so glad to have helped out a little bit with this saga. But as you see right now, she is at 832,000 subscribers, soaring to that gold plaque, which, by the way, this corporation, Niji Sanji EN, never allows you to get the plaques. She will now get a golden plaque soon. So that is so amazing for her. The Dragoons assembling big and are going to get her to 1 million. I believe in it. I know it's going to happen. Yeah, hashtag Freebird. She is doing great. So big love to her. Best wishes to her. I see her doing fantastic in the future as an indie, working for herself, being her own person, doing what she wants to do, and being happy. So that's really what I say. Look at how well you can do as an indie. You don't need these corporations. You can fly without them. Donnie2014 as a new member. Clipblacker says, back for the Lawman's Insights. Hey, what's going on? So we're going to move over to Kirsha in a second because there's more law stuff here. Spider Bro says, what's up, BLM? Welcome to After Hours. Hey, Mama Akka says, pray for the elf wife Wi-Fi. She really wanted to hear her take. Yeah, no, and look, I give her credit where credit is due. She actually really helped me out with a lot of this, and she also sent me some great information on, and it was from Sparky with all these screenshots from Nano and Redacted, all on the Cinder drama. So we're going to get into that. I'm probably not going to read all of them. We'll just read some of them, but we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk we're going to read the Kirsha explanation here. So let me get through a couple of these and we're going to move. Afra Rizal says, found your channel and back at Doki. What's the throwback? Yeah, good to see you guys. Good to see you guys. All the people who came in because of Doki Bird. Glad you're still here, and I will still stay on top of VTuber issues when they are major and when they have legal implications. Rayobi says, I wonder if Ike would speak up or hint at it like Machivi did last year about her tax troubles, or eat a nothing burger like Quinn, who knows. I think, and this is the legal side, I think they've tightened up their NDAs, and I think they've done a really good job of impressing on them, do not speak or we will hit you hard. I think all the corporations are doing that now because I think they have to. Because they know that a graduation or a termination incident like Doki is not something they want to do. So I think on the legal side, they are doing a better job one way or another, either through threats or through just explaining, hey, don't do this. Hey, don't do this. All right, let's go to Kirsha, huh? Let's go to our spicy cat. Also, Darlium says, I'm glad I'm still here due to VTuber. Hey, good to see you. Good to see you. Artemis says, Ike scrumple water bottle. Can I do that? Oh, this one doesn't scrumple. And this water bottle is not fully, I got to drink some of it first before I can do I'll do an Ike right now. There you go. That's an Ike. Okay. Also, 910 Inc. also recast graduated talent Yu Sohime. Oh, I didn't know that. Cast says Riza farts. Mazel tov! It's a boy! Garling says Kirsha can stand proud since a Vice hit piece is a badge of honor. I agree. So let's talk about Kirsha. Let's talk about our Spicy Fox. What's going on with her? So she got hit while she was on vacation, I believe, by a hit piece on Vice saying, why is this GamerStubs VTuber pushing the great replacement theory? So meet Kirsha Vestal. One of her fans is a Nazi. So I just want to point out here the premise here. Okay. Let's just point out how insane this is. So this entire attempt to cancel her is because they don't like one of her fans. One of her fans. Let me just be clear about this. How the fuck are you responsible? How the fuck are you responsible for who likes you or doesn't like you? And if you can be canceled and you can have contracts that are hit by a single person being a fan of you. I mean, let's look at serial killers. Who was Manson a fan of, right? Who are all these people that are unquestionably evil? Like got Dahmers, etc. You know, all sorts of people out there that are unquestionably evil, but they liked stuff too. You know, there were people that that were fans of celebrities that have tried to assassinate presidents, that have tried to assassinate other celebrities. Does that mean the celebrities are guilty? Yeah, imagine if you're a fan of the Beatles. So it's a Manson like the Beach Boys. Does that mean the Beach Boys need to be canceled? What the fuck does that mean? That is so insane. That logic that you are guilty because you're fans, which you cannot control, which you have no agency over, saying you can't be my fan. It's absolutely nuts. And by posting this, make no mistake, this is targeted at breaching her contract. This is targeted at gamer subs. So let's talk just in principle, because people need to understand this. A lot of idiots don't understand, and I'm gonna need to put some money in the swear jar for this one. We got, my bot is over there. Hold on, got some bot over here. Hold on, we gotta, let's go here. All right, okay, all right, we're putting it in. I'm gonna, you know what? I'm going 40 bot on this one. I'm going 40 bot on this one in the swear jar. Okay, we're gonna toss in the swear jar over there. All right. I like the bot. The bot's very colorful. Green is 20. Right. So I'm gonna put that in the swear jar over there. So listen, and I'm gonna use it very strategically here. there's some people that were supporting Vice that they have the intelligence of.
Fighting monkey とかさ。
They literally couldn't even spell tortious interference correctly. They actually said torturous interference. They're like, it's not tortious interference to point out facts. It's torturous interference because she's a Nazi. That's how dumb they are. These people are 39 IQ, 100% below a monkey. In fact, I got really big into the one gorilla versus 100 men, which apparently, according to most AI stuff that I've researched, the gorilla has very low endurance, so it would eventually lose to the 100 men. Like, eventually. But there would be massive casualties. It would be like 40 dudes are dying, but they're going to get that damn gorilla. They are going to beat the gorilla. Even the gorilla is smarter than these people. Okay? Because there is no way that this is not lining up almost entirely with the facts of tortious interference. Let's look at that. Let's look up intentional interference with contractual relations, also related to tortious interference. So the existing of a contract between plaintiff and a third party. Plaintiff would be Kirsche. The third party is GamerSups. Is there a contract between them? Is there an agreement between them? Yes, 100%. 100%. There is a contract between GamerSups and Kirsche. Did the defendant, did Vice have knowledge of the contract? Yes, they did. They literally, in their article, prove that element. They literally name GamerSups. And they say, why is GamerSups pushing the great replacement theory? So they're actually saying that. GamerSups, as a company, has never made a corporate statement that they support any sort of political theory or opinion. That is such a fucking stretch. So here's the third element, which they do in the title. The title itself intentionally and unjustifiably induces the third party GamerSups to breach the contract with Kirsche. Now, there does need to be an occurrence of a breach, and as far as I know, GamerSups hasn't dropped Kirsche, and there does need to be damages. So the one thing that's missing is that GamerSups is actually based.
Hello, Peso Department.
Not as in, I cannot absolve you. Mega based.
The one thing they are missing here is that there aren't really damages yet because GamerSups hasn't dropped her, at least under that. They might be able to get intentional infliction of emotional distress. And for those who don't know, IIED is another one. Now, IIED is very difficult because of free speech and there's limitations on it. But if the defendant acts outrageously and they purposely and recklessly cause a victim emotional distress so severe that it could be expected to affect mental health, and the conduct causes distress, that could be IIED, intentional infliction of emotional distress. So it is possible. But Vice is really the only party that's worth going after because the rest of them don't have money. A bunch of internet randoms are not worth it. Wait, Kirsche said she's going to withdraw. Well, hold on. Kirsche said she's going to withdraw. That would be damage. That would be damage. If she ends up withdrawing from it. Yeah. So, look, this definitely was a hit piece. Now let's look at what, actually she made a statement. So I want to actually read this now. This is a black text on white background jump scare according to Kirsche. So this is Kirsche's own statement. So I want to read Kirsche's statement on this because I like to go to the source. Let's read Kirsche's statement. Okay? This is from Kirsche. Now that I'm back from Vic, and let me make sure this is displaying properly. Okay, yeah, we're good. Actually, I'll put myself in the corner so you guys can read it properly. Here we go. Now that I'm back from vacation, I want to take a moment to talk about some of the conversations happening around the recent Vice article and to clear a few things up. The article and the coordinated attack on me misconstrued my beliefs to paint me as something I am not, and took screenshots of edgy jokes to purposely cause harm to me, my community, and my sponsors. This article is written by an author who has tried to denigrate other VTubers in the industry and failed. So this author is extremely biased. By the way, this author, I'll say this independently, this author has talked about cis woman breeding farms. I'm not kidding. This woman has used the term cis woman breeding farms in a fantastical way that they want to. This is the author of the Vice article. The author of the Vice article, yes, has absolutely some deranged issues. Yes. She did say that. Yep. It's backing me up. I'm not making this shit up. Guys, this is so crazy. I can't make this shit up. You cannot make this up. That would not come to my head. Cis woman breeding farms does not make things up. Like, I can't make that shit up. So, once again, I hear stuff like this and I'm like,
What the fuck?
yeah, let's continue. Once again, this is written by Kirsha. Last week while on stream, I asked my fans to tweet out photos of our recent plushie drop, and I would retweet them. I retweeted a lot of fans showing off their plushies. And in one of the collages, a fan had anti-Semitic books in the background of the plushie photo. I did not know that these books were in the photo or even existed. Exactly. And you are not responsible for controlling every reply or every retweet. What the fuck? The mob then painted this incorrect narrative that I am a Nazi, which is absolutely wrong, as I do not share any beliefs or associations. This is a coordinated attack on me and my character that I am defending. I initially did not want to untweet the photos because I was immediately attacked for having retweeted it in the first place. These people jumped to hate and bludgeoning my sponsor instead of assuming I didn't see it. They will not believe that I didn't see it now, but I am hoping more rational people will understand. The hateful author also took edgy jokes of mine in a vacuum, leaving out the tweets above and below that provide the context of the joke in an attempt to make it seem I am racially charged. I do not condone or promote racism, and this was again a poor attempt to hurt my character by misconstruing an edgy joke. The article goes on a stream, which I quote the Prime Minister of the UK in a press conference trying to say I am pushing a racial great replacement theory. This is not true. Misconstrued all in an attempt to cause public backlash towards me and my sponsors. Because of this, I feel I need to clarify my stance on these things. I am not a racist. I am not a Nazi. I am thankful that the people who actually watch my content know this. I have been told explicit stories about growing up with my mother, who I always condemn as not just a terrible parent, but a terrible person in general, and she is associated with. These stories have been well known enough that my audience will super chat during collabs, and my partners are stun locked what I had to deal with as a child. My intended goal was to cause me unnecessary harm and get my sponsors to drop me. Never apologize to cancel mobs. Hell yeah, that's very true. Who will never be satisfied with anything you say and will continue to collect scalps in their crusade. However, I am sorry that GamerSubs has to deal with a lot of people believing lies about me and even being used as a centerpiece in a slanderous article in an attempt to sway them to dropping me. To prevent harm to them, I have asked them to remove my Twitter badge, and I thank all my fans who stand by my side. So there you go. So it looks like she could have damage because she had to break that relationship. But I agree with that. Do not apologize. Even though, this I think was a little bit violated. You've really got to stick to it. And you've got to not back down. You just got to not back down with these people.
I'm not sorry, and I did nothing wrong.
She did back away, but she's saying, look, I'm choosing to do that. That's my choice, right? With the Twitter badge. Okay, let me read some of these chats. Rayobi says Vice is like the Kotaku for normies because Kotaku accused Doom Eternal of being right-wing for not having LGBT people in the game. What? It's a game about slaying demons. What will you have to add? Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of that stuff. I'm here with this guy says, stop! I have trauma from Chairman reading it. It's pretty bad. Billy Oki says, but Kirsch is my favorite racist. Lonesome Poet XI says, have you covered the Cinder drama yet? I'm getting to it. It's next. Cinder's next. And do you think Silvervale has cause for tortious interference? Possibly, yes. So this one I'm actually going to read through because it's interesting. Silbury says, so basically this is a stupid nothing burger that we're covering it because of how stupid it is. Yes, and because I want to say how to handle this. And Silbury, I will say also, Kirsha could sue. She probably won't, but she definitely could come for Vice. She could. And I think places like Vice need to be brought down for running hit pieces like that. Genghis Khan Pepe for 2 says, Vice journalists have room temperature IQ in Celsius. I agree. Rigo says, Vice isn't full of 39 IQ people. They all share 2 brain cells that are fighting for 3rd place. Ike13D says, do not get one guide. She'd be pulling the Gamer Subs badge. She's not breaking up with Gamer Subs. Okay. She's just pulling the badge. So she's not breaking up the total relationship. Kimar Lumi says, also note the Arthur failed a Velour edition, then turned around and wrote a hit piece. Oh, okay. Kirna, for 5. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Real Chariot, as a new member. Thank you. Also, I'm here for the scuff. Says Walt Disney and Henry Ford like angry mustache man. So, hate Disney and Ford. Yeah, exactly. Donnie's Avery for 10 Polish. Let's say it's funny how Niji hides grads between hollows. Kuro says multiple talents have debunked the idol direction. Mitchie Loudy says literally anyone famous would be hit then because they all have, Mitchie. Everybody famous has a fucking crazy fan. I've got fans that are crazy. And that's on the spectrum of crazy. They're really fucking crazy. But I still love them. And I don't disown them. Garling says, I hope Kirsha sues to send a message. Kirsha has been talking to a lot of people. And she's talked to people that can help promote a crowdfund for her lawsuit. She's talked to people that can get Papa Elon to fund one against Vice, just like he did with Gina Carano against Disney. There are a lot of people that would just fund her suing Vice because Vice are a bunch of assholes, and they've been targeted by Vice as well. She's got a lot of people she can talk to that would give her money, and not just her fans, because obviously there's fans, right? Mr. Melancholy said, we saw this journalist history on Side Scrollers with Yellow Flash, and they're quite the character. And I wouldn't blame if she sued. No. Yeah. All right. Let's get to Cinder, shall we? Let's get to Cinder. Also, Yakuza Penguin for 10. What's up? Says, just showing you some money because it was one of the current issues I was hoping you would cover. Also, consider doing an episode on the neutral legal POV of the illustrated content. Yes, I will once there's a little bit more meat on the bone. I will definitely analyze that. The Smash JT goes on. And I will say one thing, and I love, look, Smash and I obviously have had a better relationship than I've had with Alyssa. So you can see in terms of like my personal bias, I am more biased towards Smash JT than Alyssa. But I'm going to say one thing. He needs to stop talking about the fucking lawsuit. And I know he's lawyered up. I know he's got the right lawyer. He's got my buddy Ron Coleman and everything else. But he needs to just do content and not talk about the lawsuit all the time. This is the problem when people get into lawsuits is they talk too much about them. So you don't want to do that. You want to move on. Game Guru 111 says someone put the Cinder Docs in chronological order. I got that. I got it. We got it. Ava and Sparky's Text Corner got me that, so I have it. We're gonna do this. Billy Yoker said, "It's me. I'm the crazy fan of Andrew." Yes, you are. I still love you though. Shadow Image said, "I'm not crazy." Ree! Hold on. Wait, no, I can't play that clip. All right, I need to go. I'm gonna go get something across the room. So let's see. Is the Rima intro long enough? Let's see if I can make it. All right.
Thank you very much for all of your lovely art as well. Some of it a little lewd. To those of you drawing me with horses, y'all are into some fucked up shit, and I hope you get the help you need. I really truly I hope you get the help you need.
It was getting hot in here, and I didn't have the AC controller. All right, that should help a little. It's getting a little steamy in here. All right. Alpha says, Sparky's interpretation of events in the Cinder is flawed. His tweet is assuming malice on Nano's part. A person can easily have no backbone. Well, I don't know what he's assuming, but we're going to read through it. From my analysis is knowledge. So it isn't malice, it's knowledge. So how much knowledge did this person have, and also like the context of the interaction. So we're just gonna read through them, and then I'll get my take. King Luigi said, "Am I considered a crazy fan? Why do you all want to be crazy fans?"
Degenerates. You guys degenerates.
I'm curious if you go through this, but is there a case for Cinder suing Nanolist? That's another one. So let's go through this. So we obviously have the Cinder situation. So what happened? Obviously, we got the VTuber Cinder. So if you don't know who that is, let's pull her up real quick. We'll pull up her account. She is the Hellhound Wolf VTuber Cinder. I guess she's not blocked me yet, so we're doing pretty good there. Doing pretty good there. Now she has issued an apology for all of this, although the apology does indeed deflect a lot of the responsibility onto onto her boyfriend / manager Redacted. But let's get into this document. Now this one was put together by Sparky in terms of the screenshots, but it's just screenshots. So all the screenshots are factual. So in terms of the way this is compiled, it's just me reading the screenshots, which are confirmed as real. So we'll get into that here. So we're going to go through this and kind of take a look at these screenshots. And these are allegedly in chronological order. So we're going to read some of this from beginning to end and see where it goes. And I will skim through some of it. So Redacted says, then like a month later, unfollowed her on Twitter, started taking her ideas, Cinder's ideas like the flames. Now she's basically rebranded to more of a fire Cerebus, using fire emojis all the time. Never did that before. It's funny because she used to call herself a Hellhound, but stopped when Cinder grew past her and now uses Cerebus or Serapup or whatever her lore says. I don't know. The unfollow is weird. So a lot of this is, by the way, this is generally directed towards Silvervale. That's kind of out there. There was also unprovoked tweets from her, like, I didn't copy anyone else for my design. My design is all me. This is who I am. On random Cinder clips on YouTube, there was one dedicated, I'm assuming that's Silvervale fan, or someone she knew that would comment on these clips saying, like, when are you going to clip blank only Cinder on Cinder clips? And said, I think it's more wanting her to recognize Cinder, even though literally it doesn't matter. I feel like there's an unspoken competition between them. Like they need to one-up each other because, blank can't get along. But I understand the point of view. A new VTuber who people say looks, sounds, acts like you, and becomes just as successful as you in a year. If she didn't recognize Cinder as an equal or friend, then it would have been like she's endorsing her copy. They share a lot of the same audience. So okay. Spite for spite. Okay. Oh, the past about spite. Okay, got it. Okay, that's spite. Okay, so we're talking about spite right now. Thank you, chat. Chat keeps me on focus. But let's be clear. All of this so far that I've read is just like gossip. It's not really legal. It's not really. The Cerebus VTuber is spite. Okay, thank you guys. And this is another thing too. In the VTubing world, there are only so many archetypes, right? And I have talked about the problem in VTubing is that how many shark or whale or dog or cat or whatever animal, there's a certain point at which, okay, you're going to be somewhat similar, right? If you are a cat girl VTuber, well, you can't say someone copies you because you have ears. Right? Or you have a bell and be like, I can only be the only cat VTuber with a bell. Well, no, that's ridiculous. That's a common trope, right? Obviously, cat VTubers are going to have that. So if you were trying to sue somebody under copyright or under some sort of trademark or intellectual property, you probably wouldn't win unless it was something very, very, very specific that they're trying to copy. Even for cockroaches. Like, you can't own cockroach. You can't be like, I am the only cockroach. You could have elements that are unique to you, but still. So yeah, there's certain elements you can't. But so far, Most of what Meme Copium says original character, do not steal. Coming up, my VTuber announcement, my model is going to be Legal Copium. Legal Copium. That is going to be my VTuber model. And Josh is going to have to try to sue me under Japanese law. Konnichiwa, motherfucker. All right. So I don't think there's any like actual legal substance. I think this is just like chit chat. So I want to separate chit chat and like shit talking. Look, Regina George is not guilty of all the crimes, although she did commit some crimes in Mean Girls. So just shit talking people behind their back isn't illegal. If it was, there'd be a lot of people arrested. Legal Copium. Legal Copium is pretty good. It's a pretty good name. Don't forget the copium tank. In fact, let's give a little legal copium here. Let's give a little legal copium. We'll give the edited version.
You are coping the ceiling. You just can't believe what you're seeing.
Such a good remix, by the way. Such a good remix. Shout out to Gabe on that one. Les Lovin, welcome as a new member. Appreciate you. Also, Magma Fox says the biggest thing about the Cinder thing is most of the accusation we're levied against Cinder was through Red. Unless proven, it is unknown if Cinder had unfiltered access. Well, here's the thing. Look, I know that many are hikikomori and neets, but I think this is what, from what I've been told, is a girlfriend-boyfriend-manager relationship. You are definitely going to be telling your significant, in case you guys haven't ever been in a relationship before. Old man mindset will tell you how it happened. Sit down over here. We'll tell you what happened. Generally, you talk about stuff, and generally you're talking about stuff that you're not talking about with anybody else. You're talking about very intimate details of your life. So you're talking about stuff that's going on in large detail. So I would assume if you are dating somebody, you are giving them everything. And most everything. That's why there's something called spousal privilege. So when you are married to somebody, back in the day, you couldn't even testify against them. You could be forced not to testify against them. Now, nowadays, that privilege is more nuanced, but that's how these intimate relationships were viewed, that, between partners, you shouldn't be doing this. So people are calling him a simp. People are saying he was mixing business and pleasure. I don't know anything about these people personally. All I know is what I've heard and what it seems to be generally confirmed. Oyamada for 13 says, unfortunately, assuming she was honest about the manipulation from Red, her interaction with Red is in person because of the relationship. She will have no proof. It's only her words versus screenshots exactly, and how do you disprove that? You really don't. Legal Mindset fans are crazy for the Vox Tenma and the Grand Mussy.
No. Wait.
Kimberly Lumi says, Google Docky. Yeah, I know, it's the first one. There are many that hit the tower. Don't worry. But we're only going through this one because I want to just go through the raw screenshots. Last year was the sinking of the yacht. Now we got the implosion of Cinder. I don't have chocolate, but I have some cabbages for the bonfire. Sit in, folks. It's a wild one. Riga says, we're just crazy degens, just like you're going to be the gooning expert on the stand for the Destiny case. I know. Michael Rua says, morning from Netherlands. Another day, another something. I know. It's been a crazy month. Magma Fox says, let me clear this up. I'm not saying Cinder knew nothing. I'm saying Cinder didn't know everything. She is still toxically competitive, and that doesn't change. Yeah, exactly. And that's probably fair. You probably don't know everything your boyfriend is doing, but you probably know a lot. Let's continue here. Redacted says, like at the end of the day, isn't it about how much we make compared to her? We just want to recognize, hey, Cinder's a big VTuber. She got there on her own merits. She did just like you, so get along. And the marketing potential and money they could make if they teamed up, I just know anything we do, she's watching and will take from. Oh my God, a figure was announced, no spinning figure. She has a debut Saturday. Everyone hears about it. Figure announced. Spinning figure on frame, figure right next to it. Stream yesterday, first stream since Cinder's debut. Guess what? Spinning figure next to it. So we're talking about copying and people copying, that happens, guys. And listen, here's another thing too I'm going to tell you guys. And this is going to piss a lot of people off, especially in the VTubing community. But I don't give a shit because my channel is about facts and not about feelings. And this is going to piss people off. Really piss people off. You ready? Copying is not just legal. It's actually encouraged. Let me say this one more time. Copying what people do is not just legal, it's encouraged. A smart business looks at what other businesses are doing, and if it is successful, if it makes money, they do it. And they change it 5%. 5%. The 5% is important because you need to change it to be unique. You can't obviously steal people's intellectual property. But if you change it 5% and you steal it, that's good business. And it's completely legal and there's nothing they can fucking do to stop you. And that's the evil lawyer, Andrew, right? That's telling you the evil lawyer. And I know a lot of people have a huge problem with that. A lot of people think it's immoral or whatever. Nope. That's exactly what happens in business. I'm sorry, guys, that's what happens. And here's actually what happens even worse. They steal it and they figure out how to do it for cheaper than you, so they undercut you. So they find out how you did it, they find out who you paid, and they negotiate a better contract with them because now you, the original person, has proven the success. So you're like, oh, we can sell even more if it's $1 cheaper. So they negotiate the contract down. So they sell the same thing for cheaper and they beat you out. That's how business works, guys. And that's just life. And people say it sounds Chinese. Guess what? Guess what? Like it or not, it makes money. I live in Asia. I see this stuff happening all the fucking time. I work in an industry here where I will say, hey, I can help you with this visa for $100. And then somebody will say, I can do it for 75. And then someone else say 50. And also someone says, that sounds like capitalism. Exactly. And once again, I don't think that's evil. That just is the way it exists, right? That just exists. Okay, yes, I know swear jar. Hold on, look. I'm gonna give a bit. I gave 20 before. We're gonna upgrade here. We're gonna upgrade, okay? We're gonna upgrade. Update to the red. We're gonna upgrade to the pink boy or the red boy. You know, we're upgrading because I've had some swearing here. Okay, so it's just the way it fucking is, boys and girls, and you cannot be mad about that. So the fact that they did that, I mean, you can be mad, but you can't legally do anything about it. So I guess this is Sacramore. Bao says, "Hi, I'm going to bed, but give me your rates and turnaround time for a video like the Bao experience. Me and my editors loved it." So here's saying Silvervale. So this is saying Cinder really loved meeting you and wanted to collab. So I told her to let you know, and I throw you guys in the group chat. Silvervale says, hello, I appreciate the sentiment, but I prefer not to do collabs. No worries. Hope you're having a great weekend. By the way, I completely understand this. When a lot of people ask me for interviews, and I tell them, I'm sorry, I really don't do interviews. Interviews have to be something really unique and special. If it's just us talking about stuff, and I don't even like doing collabs. So like, I mean, I appreciate Ava and the ones I invite on, but I generally like to just operate on my own. I'm like generally a lone wolf type of guy. That's how I like it. I like to be my own boss, right? You know, be my own judge, if you will. And that's how I am. My collaboration with Atozi was great, but we are both independent people and we both operate independently. And when we can come together to collab, that's fine, but we don't force it. And I don't try to control anybody. I don't like that. I don't want people to control me, so I don't try to control them. And it protects everything. It keeps everything safe. And especially from a legal standpoint, there's no question about whose money is whose. When you get into a commune mindset, there's a big debate over money. And everybody fights each other over money and saying, I need more, where's my share, where's my cut? I don't want any of that bullshit. I don't want that drama, right? Just do your own thing, make your own money, and that's what you're responsible for. Luna K says, it's just business. We're going to get to that part. We're not there yet. Stop spoiling the rest. Renabi says, the best comparison is like working with Hulk Hogan back in the day. The Undertaker was being extra careful with Hogan while working, and Hogan lied in the back that Taker was unsafe to work with. Wolfsbane says Walmart's business model undercut everybody. Yep, there you go. And once again, is Walmart guilty for that? Are they? No, they just did what's in their financial best interest. Iverson Nightfall said for 11, kind of weird that a ton of VTubers on Twitter assume Cinder knew verbatim every DM from Red, but now I need to know who's the worst partner, Red or Hank. Ooh, Hank is pretty abusive. In more ways than one. Guy Vignon says off topic is a news that I think it should. It's in Korea, so I'm going to get that to you. I will report on that this evening, Asia time. So AM, EST, PM, Asia, I will report on Somali. Pete says no Joe Rogan. No, the Joe Rogan was wild speculation, but I'd be happy to do Rogan if he invites me on. Anyways, she says, thanks. I've got lots of IRL stuff. Sorry for not interested in being collabs. I just like to do my own thing, but I'm always open to messages. I hope you had fun at the con. So she's by the way, Silverveil, very professional, very professional. She did exactly what I would say you should do in these situations, which is remain professional, remain nice, and just say things how they are, right? This is a fact, and she did it sweet, curt, to the point. Silverveil said hi, and Cinder said, hi, Silver. Sorry for getting back to you late. I've been sick from TwitchCon. Guess a lot of us got sick after the last couple parties. I hope you had a good time at your meet and greet. It was nice to see you there. But yeah, no worries. If you prefer not to stream together, my manager suggested something more like sponsorships, merch, music, and some of the kind of project together. Maybe Mythic could help with if needed. I'd love to chat more either way. And then says, no worries. It's been super hectic for everyone and busy. I hope you're feeling better. I'm really flattered by the persistence, but I'm not interested in transactional relationships with anybody. I hope you can understand. And honestly, once again, she lays it out what the reason is. She doesn't want to mix money. And that is so fucking smart. That is so fucking smart. She's a nice person and she's a smart person. It's absolutely 100%. It's not just base, it's smart, because you're gonna get in fights over money. So it's not good to mix it, to keep it as separate as possible. The worst situations I've gotten in are because I partnered with people that I had no business partnering with. Cinder said, hey Silver, I got your gamer sub stuff in the mail. It looks amazing. It's cute that we both have Nano's art on our merch because she is bar model. Okay, so now Nano's getting involved. Okay, let's see this. Okay, so here's where we have some issues. Silver, I have to cancel the model com. I'm sorry, my manager told me I have to cancel most comms for healthy purposes. I've been working too hard and getting into it. It's really getting into me. I really apologize for the inconvenience. Silverveil says, I was looking forward to it so much. I love your art so much, and I've been so excited for a new model from you. I understand, though. You have to prioritize your health and taking care of yourself. I hope your health improves and you feel better. Make sure to get a lot of rest and relaxation. Do you know if you'll be able to do it next year at all? Don't feel pressured. NanoLess says, I'm sorry, it hurts me a lot too. I just wish I could work on everything I could, but I believe I can still go for your model sometime next year. Silverveil says, that's okay. I know you have a ton on your plate, but can't imagine how stressful it must be. Do you think you can still do a gamer subs tub art? She says, oh yeah, illustrations are okay. So Redacted said, well, let's see if blank wants a nano model or not. I hope blank finds someone else. Then continues talking to Redacted, saying, it's about working with Cinder. My friends told me it's a bit unfair to stop other models, so I do more for Cinder, which I agree with them. I'm a free artist and I should do whatever I want to do. I don't take sides in any drama or situations. I will always have a way to open slots for Cinder, but I won't have her as my only customer. Okay, let me talk about this real quick. So let me talk about this. This is a really important point here. You can have exclusivity contracts. So it is possible for you to have what's called an exclusivity contract, meaning you are the exclusive vendor for somebody. So if you are a quote unquote free artist, you could sign an exclusivity contract with them. However, you better ask them for a shit ton of money. You bet, and I will put money in the swear jar for that one, right? We're gonna toss something over there for that. They better be paying you well in writing, and it's signed, right? You can have that. That is possible. You can do that. And if you choose to do that, that's fine. But understand, you just gave yourself a boss. And if you want to be free, you really need multiple people. So if you have multiple people, then nobody can fire you. But if you go exclusive, they better pay you a lot. How many bot? We've got about 200 bot in the jar right now. And I'm going at like 20 a swear word. So, this is this one because I got the other one. So my in case you guys don't know, my house is being worked on. My apartment's being worked on right now for earthquake damage. So I'm in an Airbnb. So my original jar is in the house. There's 2 jars. 1 lawyer, 2 jars. Okay? Coming up on one of the tubes. All right. Ryobi said, only foxy ladies I follow are Silver, Kirsha, Kitsuniro, and Smugalana. The last one is based above and better Firehound, even if she's a fox. Yes, Smugalana is great. I love her content. She's really awesome. And she's a really nice person. She reached out to me about some of the Somali doxing and other shit they were doing to me and was really awesome. So shout out to Smug. Smitty says, in relation to copyright, did you hear the anti-piracy ad? You wouldn't steal a car. Actually breached copyright by using copyrighted music in a copyrighted font. That's hilarious. Confirmed smuggler. Yes. Hypnos Cat says, isn't Silverveil's model from back in her Vishojo days? I don't know when Cinder started. I don't know about Silverveil's model history. You guys would know better than I would. Yeah. Alana's very based. She's very based in smug. Yes. The papaya fox, which makes sense, by the way, since, in case you guys don't know about Thailand, papaya salad, somtam, very delicious. Should check it out if you've never had it. Get it. Make sure you specify the level of spiciness because the default spiciness is spicy. All right, let's continue here. So Redactus says, I agree. You're a free artist. You should do what you want. But, and remember, whenever there's a statement with the but, ignore everything before the but and only read after the but. Because after the but is what people really mean. I was under the impression that taking on more Cinder work is what you wanted to do. I didn't think we were making you do it. So now he's kind of making a emotional, like there's like kind of the pushback here emotionally. Guess we got a misunderstanding on both sides. It's more about this. And then, it talks about not to discredit any work, blah, blah, blah. And he says, oh, I see. I mean, what I said is still true about how we feel, but I wasn't saying you had to only do Cinder work. That's with anything, though, not just your work. If you have something special and then everyone wants and gets that thing, it makes it less special. I'm sorry you were under the impression we were trying to make you only do work for us. I will keep things more business, less talk, and less emotional. Just let me know how this will affect your schedule so I can tell Cinder after. Sorry for the stress, Nano. But every single model I do is unique. Exactly. That's a very good point. And I make them special in their own way. It's not like I'm selling Cinder to everyone. Please don't feel that way, which is true, right? Everyone's model is different. It says, no, I know you pour your heart and soul into your models. They're all incredible. I'm sorry I made you feel that way too. Redacted says, I'm sorry. It's okay, Nano. You're just making a living, a name for yourself and making a name for yourself. I can't blame you for accepting work for other big names in the industry and having very desirable talent. If you end up filling your model schedule again like it was, let me know. We'll have to replan some things depending on that. It says, thank you for understanding my side. We're all trying to have our names somewhere. Just don't take this personal or anything. I still love working with you guys. And again, apologize for trouble on your plans. I'll still visit my list and see what I got. Redacted gives the line, say it with me, chat. Business is business. There we go. There's the line. If you want to go through the projects we talked about and let me know which ones you want to do. Is this about the blank model, Nano? Yeah, I want to take it, but I don't want to disrespect Cinder. I just want to do pretty models, no hurt feelings. Business is business, chat. Business is business. Gaslight is gaslight. It is just business. It is just business, guys. Business is business. That's gonna be the tagline. Whenever you're like gonna like kiss a death somebody, you're like, I understand. When I'm like betrayed by my head mod Danielle, I'm gonna be like, Danielle, I understand. Business is business. You have to go be a moderator for legal. I understand. The business is business. Execute order 66. Terminate. No. It's nothing personal, kid. You're just going to end up with Jimmy Hoffa. Okay, Fred. Business is business. Damn, you wish Legal Beagle on a friend? I would not wish Legal Beagle on anybody. Legal Schmeagle on anybody. All right. Okay. He goes, Nano, you are a freelance artist and a longtime client, and this person is a longtime client, so it makes sense to continue work for. I understand the logistics. At the end of the day, you need to do what's best. I really appreciate you understanding. I understand your side too, but sadly, it's something between you two, not me. I shouldn't get involved in this fight. I go Art Burr. Right, I know. I just didn't think our other conversation sounded like it was trying to make you not work for her to model, like blank specifically. So now is when we're getting towards more tortious interference, because when you're starting to be more specific and you're talking about existing agreements, by the way, a lot of people think a contract has to be some sort of formal contract. It does not. It can be just an understanding based on a conversation. So when you put that conversation together, that is something that is relevant, right? Okay. Tortillas interference. I like that. Tortillas interference. Once again, I'm not saying this is or isn't. I'm just telling you and explaining the law as we go. A lot of really fucking dumb people, they take like one thing I say and they misconstrue it, which is how a lot of these things work. And I really don't have a lot of patience for people that can't even spell tortious interference correctly, right? This is what is tortious interference correctly. And they try to say, I'm jumping out here and saying she's guilty of that. That does not mean that. You are absolutely brain dead if you think me saying this could be something means she is guilty. At the end of the day, you would have to bring a claim. But what I do say, and what I will say is this starting to build a better case? Is this starting to build a case that might get past what's called a motion to dismiss? It's possible. It's going in that direction, but let's continue. Maybe I just considered the situation too much. My mistake for thinking this way. It's okay, but we're good for real. This feels like a weird breakup. I'm stressing. Me and you are good, but I still have to tell this all to Cinder. She'll be fine. I think she's sleeping. Nanolith says, I try to be transparent as much as possible. I think it's fair for both sides this way. By the way, my conclusion here is going to piss a lot of people off. But let's continue. You didn't tell blank you canceled because of Cinder, did you? No. I told them it was for health reasons. So the implication here is that was a lie. That the health reasons was a lie. I would never blame anyone besides blank. LOL. We never want to force you and make you feel like you're making you do anything or not work on something, especially if it's something you don't want to work on. And our conversation the other day was meant to convince you of only doing Cinder work, was not meant to convince you. Sorry that it sounded like to you like I was telling you to only do Cinder work. I'll message you later. Okay, so now continuing on here. Once again, we're in November. So now we're going to the 26th. This is Nano messaging Cinder. Hey Cinder, hope you're doing well. I was talking with Red and I believe he talked to you already, but it'd be best if I just check here personally. I want to know your thoughts because Red tried to talk to me and misunderstands things. And she says, I'm good. What's up, Nano? It's mostly about this. So he repastes the Cinder stuff. The chat with Redacted to Cinder. It says, I thought on canceling some models because of it, but I realized it's not really fair to me. And then she goes, I understand what he means, but at the end of the day, it's just business. Business is business. Of course, we love working with you and want to keep working together. But if you prefer to work with other clients than me, I know it's for a reason for you to help you grow, and it's not because you don't like me. Being one of your very first model babies is amazing. I was happy to be able to find someone to help you with L2 cutting to improve your skills. I think it's a big part of why everyone loved the 1.0 model, then started asking you for them. I can have Red send you a list of our plans for the future and estimated due dates, so just let us know what you want to work on. That way I have time to look for someone else if you don't have time for my projects or don't want to do them. It feels special to only have your model art for all my outfits, but just let me know if you don't have the time for me to be an exclusive Nano art baby anymore. It's not personal. I would never do something like that to you or anyone. But yeah, it's important for my job to reach far, and I like working on different projects and people. I never said I didn't want to work with you anymore. I told Red that even though I have other works, I will always have a way to get you a priority spot when possible. You will always be my special baby. I also think it's important for you to work on projects that you're excited about. I'll go through my plans with Red and send you our ideas to see if it's possible with your schedule. I know he can be a little pushy sometimes, but that's because he's just doing business for me to grow to. He absolutely loves your work as much as I do. It's okay. We'll update you guys ASP. Sounds good. So that, sounds like it went all right. That's a reasonable conversation. Redacted says afterwards, did you cancel models? Responds, I did not. So we're jumping years here. We're now in 2004. Nano Arc delayed to 2026. Nano says, I'm scared to cancel with Bao. So now Bao the whale is dragged in here. Says that you shouldn't be. So Redacted is now doing the thing. Now this is the part where things get fucked. 2024, people. 2024. Not 2004. 2024. 2024. Not 2004. Thinking way back when I was a wee lad. A wee lad. 2024. Okay. Okay, fuck you guys. Okay, you know what? To my chat. Fuck you.
Fuck you! Fuck you, fuck you! Fuck you!
Okay, 2024. Swear jar. Okay, where's my I'm gonna upgrade the swear jar here. Swear jar's hurting right now. So we're just gonna get this folded dollar here. So assholes. All right. So let's see here. I'll get this one. Ray said, I just have to add Nano as a freelancer unless she is in an exclusive contract. She is free to work with other clients. Okay. Alonzi Miami says his business is full of monkey business. Ryobi said also that voice sounded like Triple H. Gaius Fan says, someone say business is business. And it ends with a suplex. All right, let's continue. Okay, so now we have Redacted encouraging termination of a contract with Bao. This is tortious interference with contract. You shouldn't be. She has so many connections, she'll find someone super fast. Did you already design her outfit? I remember showing it to her at WeebCon. Yes, I can give her the design for free as an apology gift. Don't sell yourself short. I think she'll be fine with taking the design and finding someone else. I wouldn't offer it for free, maybe half the price if she starts shit. Yeah, you're right. I'll talk to her. We'll also close the model inquiry opening. That was a mistake. Tortious interference. And here's the other thing too. People are trying to say, oh, well, Cinder didn't say it. Here's what I've been saying in the VTuber community for over a year. And here's the thing that nobody's been listening to me on. And I'm going to call it out right now because this is the reason why Cinder is 100% implicated. Because this is the manager. And when you call somebody a manager, you are giving them agency and authority. So any action a manager takes is as if it is an extension of the VTuber. The manager is your agent. That is your action. You are responsible for that. So everything Redacted does, Cinder is 100% legally on the line for. 100% legally through, somebody said in the chat, vicarious liability. They are a representation of you. Legally, this is why people are idiots for calling these people managers. I'm sorry, they're on the fucking line. Under US law. Okay? Now that's me talking about US law. I don't know if any of these people are out of the US or if they're in Japan. I'm talking about US law. Let me be very clear, right? 100% on the line. Let me say that one more time. Cinder is liable legally for everything Redacted did. Whether or not she feels that way, whether or not she gaslights them, whether or not whatever act she was doing as a girlfriend, whether she was giving special services every night or every month, it doesn't matter. None of that's relevant. Legally, as a manager, you're responsible. Sorry. And there's the clip. Eagle's gonna clip it up. There's a clip. Everybody's gonna clip me on that one. And once again, is Cinder worth suing? Maybe not. And maybe there wouldn't be a one in suit, but if Bao wanted to come after Cinder, she could. I don't think she will. But This is why you don't call yourself a manager. This is the simple reason. Many countries call themselves, yes, many. It's insane to me. It's insane to me how people still call people managers when shit like this happens. Can we stop this now? Can we just say this is your personal assistant, or maybe this is like a contractor, this is your helper, but not your fucking manager, right? Words have meanings, and manager means something. And I know that they want to sound like they're idols, but this is legally problematic for them. Seriously. It's a legal definition. Does it fall under anti-competitive practice? No, just what I'm saying is the interference, because they knew there was a contract and they said, break that contract. Legal mindset. Remember how an ex-Niji employee mentions how she was humiliated and berated by a Niji higher-up. This is almost similar. I mean, I don't want to make one-to-one. They're all unique scenarios, but I get what you're trying to say, but it's you know, I don't want to say like one-to-one, because people jump on me for saying this is Niji. So I don't want to do a one-to-one, but of course there's elements that can be similar. Winston says, I think this quote from the philosopher Chris Brown and Lil Wayne is pretty apt in the situation. These hoes ain't loyal. No, these hoes are not loyal. And the bros aren't loyal either. The hoes and the bros aren't loyal either. And it's sad. It's a sad, sad thing. Maybe we all need some emotional cabbage. I just had to get the cabbage in there. Cat Smash says testicular torsion interference. Weird. Octera says, on the bright side, Cinder is single. Is she though? Jiham Harman LP says, is it a stretch to consider Red Single possibly perceive Nano as stupid because Nano is ESL and try to use the I'm not going to go there. All I'm going to focus on is the law. All right, let's continue. So they talked about, and here we go. Girly Pop, the cut here, Smoge. Nano had to drop me as a client because her work schedule is too hectic, which is, you know, yeah, influenced all here. Redacted says, you wouldn't happen to be available for an MV in a week or two, would you? Sax says, I'm completely full every day this month, and earliest I could do is November. So just checking, thank you. Sax says, no problem, 100% down for one after that date. Sorry to bother you, but do you know the exact release date, since I could try working on something out to fit it in? By the 22nd-ish. Hey, Red, thanks for waiting. So I've been trying to figure out if there's any way feasible I could slide Skinner in my schedule this month, but between moving in my new apartment and Halloween album, 7 MVs, I think November 9th is the earliest I can start. I'm very sorry. But if there's any projects after that date y'all would like me to do, I can lock in my calendar 100%. How long does it take for you to edit an MV? Says, depends on the length, usually a week or two. Says, how would you feel about giving me everything for an MV now, work on it between your other projects, and have it to me by the end of October? I'd really love to be able to squeeze y'all in if I absolutely could, but genuinely don't have any more days free until November 9th. This month, the start of November, is literally an ass beating for my schedule. Okay, thanks. You're missing out on a good one. When is Cinders coming out? It's when it's ready. TBH, I'll probably start on it a day or two after I wrap it with Bows and V's in that case. This song has a lot of typography. Is that something you're good with? Can I hear it? If not, no worries, just so I can get an idea. Was it EN or Japanese English? So when was it you're free again? Things have been pushed back by a lot. November 9th is my last MV for Bow until the first week of December. When is Cinders coming out? When it's ready, lol. Okay, so blah, blah, blah. It says lots of animated text with different fonts, but yeah, that's fine. Is it just one still image we're using for art? No. I can send you more details in a week or two. Okay, blah, 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 blah. Okay. So now he's trying to push. So now he's saying, what if we paid you double? So trying to push the MV. Says, are you available? Sorry for getting you back to you so late. All good. I'm still 100% down. I would like to be able to start the first or second week of December for mid-December release, if that's okay. Says, we're hoping end of November release. That'd be impossible. We can send the invoice to wait whenever. We'll get it paid ASAP. Sax says, I come bearing gifts. I hope the girlies like it. So I think that's the file. So congratulating them for dragging this out. Or sorry, for getting this done. Let's see. Sax saying, yo, it's fine if I go forward. And if going forward, I don't get credited the video description, saying, yes, thank you. I'd rather just be an in-house type thing for Bow after this. So going in-house for Bow. And then talking again here, Redacted saying, I mean, like, if we wanted to have some sort of model exclusivity, what would you need to make it sustainable? Maybe you can share one of your ideas and I can check what I think. So I got some ideas for this. I was driving. What are you thinking? So I asked help from my friends. So a monthly fee. Also, how long would this be, and this counts for models I already worked on? Well, the main thing is we're looking for you not to take any brand new model clients and not make any model outfits with blank again. Okay. And let me read the rest of this. So you'll still be able to work on models and outfits with all your existing babies, and your art comms wouldn't be affected. One of our concerns is more nano babies means nano models don't the same value. And the second is there's few people that we would just rather not have a model from you. Maybe not any new babies at all. The reason why I brought this up is that there's been a lot of bias with another one of the partners with certain creators. And we'd rather these creators not have what Cinder makes unique, which is your artwork. Okay. This is actually going to piss people off. And this actually may make people think I'm siding with Redacted. But listen, hear me out here. What they're trying to do in a very clumsy way is negotiate an exclusivity contract. It's not illegal to have an exclusivity contract. So it isn't illegal for them to say, hey, I want you to be my exclusive artist. That is not illegal at all to do that. However, it looks really fucking bad. The optics of it don't look good. And obviously it's going to piss people off. Right? So there's legally, though, it is not a crime to try to negotiate exclusivity. And by the way, they're not entirely wrong about that. Exclusivity does allow for a greater value of work. If the artist is good and they're your artist, then yeah, you have the fucking baller artist. You're the only one with them. So just to understand, I'm not nagging on them for that. It's about the way they did it that feels scummy, and that I can definitely agree with, but my evil lawyer arc says here, exclusivity is not necessarily illegal. So once we have to separate morality from illegality. And especially when I'm speaking, I need to be clear. And I need to be fair, because I try to be very fucking fair. But at this point, now we're going to go further, but at this point, there hasn't been anything illegal about negotiating this contract. Now, I did say previously there was an issue with terminating Bao, right? And that was definitely some interference. Once again, whether or not they be held guilty of that, that's up to a court. A court might say, one way or another. A court or a judge might say one thing or another. But so far, nothing. But let's continue. We've got more. Nano says, OFC, I just want to understand it better, specifically if I cancel her for the second time. So canceling is a bit dicey. Well, with Blank, she's been given a lot of bias and priorities at gamer subs, sometimes over Cinder. We can't really confront them about it, and plus she's gone 3D. Bao has been getting on our nerves for a while. She hijacked our YouTube editor a while ago and is constantly picking up artists that we work with. We've gotten to know her better being friends with her, but she rubs us the wrong way with the things she does. We wanted to try to safeguard our most important artist since she's already taken our editor. And I don't mean taken like he doesn't work with us anymore. He does. But he has to dedicate time for her now, and sometimes that gets in the way of our projects. One of Bao's MV editors is the one that did the Boss MV Rush, and we're 99% sure she told him not to do any more with us. But like model art is the most important thing, that's entire VTuber image. Okay. All this Bao shit talk was completely unnecessary to sign an exclusivity contract. You don't need to explain any of that. All that did was open them up more. They just needed to say, we want an exclusivity contract and don't talk about it. Your personal feelings or drama or whatever else was not really necessary to sign an exclusivity contract. But, and to say hijack and use some of that language, like you're accusing her of theft of a YouTube editor, and picking up artists we work with, that's called the artist that you work with getting popular. That means they're good, right? Like that should be a good thing. If for example, my editor Eagle, right? Shout out to Eagle. He's in the chat. He's Alicia's biggest simp. I love him. If Eagle wants to clip for other channels, he can do that. Eagle is free to fly, is soar as high as Eagle wants to soar. I don't have an exclusivity contract with Eagle. I don't have an exclusivity contract with my mods. Number one, they don't get paid. I love them, but they get my love. But if they want to mod for somebody else, I can't stop them for doing that, right? I can't. You don't stop any of these people from doing it. If I wanted to do that, I would say, hey, you're my exclusive clipper. Here's our agreement, and that's it. I'm not going to say I don't want you to clip for other lawyers, and that's why I'm doing this, because I don't like that dirty meme copium who's not a lawyer, but he talks about LawTube content. So meme copium, he's such a dirty boy. I don't want you clipping for him. No, I don't need to say that. I need to say, look, I want an exclusivity contract. Eagle Gallon says, I'm free. He's free. He is free. He's good. Does great work, guys. If you need a clipper, talk to Eagle. But seriously, though, fucking unnecessary conversation here. Completely unnecessary conversation. But what was necessary was Silver and gifting 5 Legal Mindset memberships. Let's answer some of these and we're going to continue. Sergeant Buck says, I do 3D artwork as a hobby, and this sort of talk makes me never want to get into commissions for any reason. There's so much drama. Logical B says, when you say she's liable for her manager's words, would this extend to cases like my manager went rogue and did it behind my back? I just found out and now I'm trying to course correct. Logical, this is a very good question, and the answer is maybe. It's not a yes or a no. It's a maybe. It's a fact by fact, case by case. If your manager went wildly rogue and did something that is completely outside of your business, let's say, for example, you're running a restaurant and your manager ran out and bought 40 pounds of Colombian booger sugar, of the Miami snow, that is obviously not part of your normal business expenses, right? At a restaurant. So yeah, that would be going rogue, right? There's a point at which managers can go rogue. But here's the problem, and I'm going to bring this up again. What language is he using? Look at the language. We, not I, we. What's another word? Our safeguard, our editor. Us. These are communal words. He is clearly speaking for Cinder. He is not acting like he is speaking of his own personal opinions. Oui. My French people out there. Ouais. All right. So just understand, this is acting like a manager. And once again, look at the we. Well, we love working with you. Cinder wouldn't be Cinder without Nando. Okay, but let me tell you the tea. Okay. Nothing good ever happens after let me tell you the tea. Okay. Bao had original songs last year that had MVs by her editor. The songs flopped. Her editor met us at TwitchCon and saying that he would love to work with us, practically jumping through hoops to get something planned. We managed to have him squeeze in Boss Rush MV between his work with Bao. He says he loved working on it and is super excited to work on the next MV project. Boss Rush song blows up. He's credited as the editor. I ask him when he's free to do the next project. All of a sudden he changed his mind. Is only working with Bao going forward. No explanation. There's some context missing since we know how Bao is behind the scenes. But basically, we don't have an MV editor for now for our next Boss Rush project. I think Bao got pissed that her editor did an original MV song for her friends without her knowing and did it 100x better than her original songs last year. And she locked him up so no one else could work with him. And then had him make it public on Twitter that he was only working with her going forward, like a literal announcement tweet. Oh shit, yeah, that's super weird. So then they post sack. Anonymously in-house, as in will never be credited publicly so no one knows who they work for Bao. Oh, that's literally it. And it reads like a hostage note. I asked to be anonymous since I wanted to separate from being known as a freelancer. No one does this. No one decides to do this on their own. This was 2 weeks after Boss Rush came out. Yeah, it's pretty weird. And now she's been barking up the tree of one of our L2D animators, so like you and a nano model. Yeah, looking for me sounds sus. It's annoying. She has a way of guilt-tripping people to get her way. What about we can pay X for you? You don't have to discount it for the next payment. We'll continue to give you lots of model work. You don't work with these people again. I think these people were definitely Bao and a couple others. I've seen the unredacted version. One of them is definitely Bao. I think one of them's definitely, I think it's Spite Bow and one more. I've seen this one uncover. But anyways, I don't think you've ever done anything with blank blank before. We also have a GS label for you, the FK. Silver. Is Silver Veil or Shy Lily? Was it Lily or Veil? I think it's maybe, oh, Cotton. Oh, no, Cotton. Cotton's on there too. Cotton's on there too. Sorry. Cotton's on there too. Yeah, they're there. It's Cotton. Yeah. Thank you guys. Thank you, chat. Thank you, chat. Base chat. W chat. W chat. Yes, thank you guys. This is why I have you here. I love you. Is there any way to add a little bit more since Blank still asks for art and every now and then? We could do it like when Blank asks for art, you tell her no and tell us to buy another art piece, like you still get a job from it. So they are trying to work it out. Cinder, just want to say sorry for stepping back on exclusivity. Wanted to apologize personally to you since I've only talked about that with Red, but I just don't want to get dragged into personal issues like that. After all, Blank is still a client. It makes me anxious. It kind of destroys my mental to do this kind of deal. Just want to let you know I still love working with you and Red, but I understand if things don't work out because Blank. Still love my clients. It's all. I get it, Nano. It's pretty unfair to push it on you, but it's really confusing going back and forth. I just get compared to her a lot, even still today, and it's like I'm always living in someone's shadow, which is one reason why Red asked about not making any models for her. And when you said, I understand if things don't work out, it makes me feel like you're okay with not working with me anymore, which hurts me after all this time. That's kind of some gaslighting right there. I really appreciate you, Nano, and it's your decision who you will ultimately work with, but this is how I've been feeling. I don't really see any point of keep thinking about being compared to Blank. You're so much bigger, and you've already done much more. But I would never give Blank any priority. Also, there's not even any model we're being discussed. I just want to sleep clear-minded. I'm also fine at doing our models, but at least GamerSup's art would still be fine with me. I don't want to be 100% an assholer, that's all. It's not me, but other people's opinions of us, and I'm just trying not to get involved in any drama that other people want to talk comparing us. But I understand where you're coming from. There's no hard feelings. And saying, sorry, my mental is weak. Same girl. I'm sorry for bringing you into this. I want you to get that money. The whole situation is kind of sucky. I just want to get along. I understand if things don't work out about this, mostly if you hate me for not burning Blank down from my list. I would never hate you. Thank you. I'm just an insecure bitch. I love everything we've done together and I want to keep more. People just saying dumb shit online makes me stressed. Okay, so let's finish this out. We got 2 more pages. People saying she's been acting weird towards Cinder. Don't know what's going on. Oh, weird. Ever since V-Card launched, what do you consider weird? Lately dipping out of collabs they're both part of and ghosting her. Cinder's raided her a couple times and Lily won't acknowledge Cinder by name. So Shy Lily mentioned just weird petty stuff. That's weird since they both say that share the same store. Around V-Card's launch, they were talking and collabing. I don't know what happened. But her asking for you for a model after that was just weird. Even though she said she doesn't plan on getting a new model anytime soon. I don't know. I hate that we keep bringing you into drama. Yeah, I thought it was quite early to go for a new model. Look a bit menacing, so I don't talk to her. Feels like we're going to have to compete with Lily if she's ghosting Cinder and wants the same model. What do you mean compete? I think compete is really weird. So Redacted going, is it just Cinder and Blank you've been doing continuous model outfits for? We'll have a Demon update list plus arcade reference for you soon as it's finished. I think it is. I have an outfit for Blank planned. As for Blank, got nothing new, but she always comes up with something. Do you know who's rigging Lily? Gonna be Blank. Thanks, Nano. Sorry for the questions. Gonna stay informed, especially when it comes to our top artists. Never take a break. Saying, I'm going to go bald now. I'll keep you in the loop. Anything going on? Also that, the balding? No, you fool. Just stupid drama. Got to stay competitive even when we shouldn't have to. Your PFP looks like a guy with a mustache. Don't go too far in competitiveness. It can get bad. Got to chill. Hey, it's not us. What do you mean? It is you. You control you. But anyways, we aren't the ones getting a model from the artist that the other GS owner out of the blue and ghosting them and refusing to acknowledge them. So I think that's mentioning Lily there at the end. So that's what we got. What do we got from the claims? Okay. Well, honestly, the one that was clearest to me based on the evidence was Bao. Because there was a existing contract, there was a breach, there was clearly a damage there. So actually Bao from a legal standpoint had the clearest breach. There's some stuff that happened out there that some people could say might be defamation, but the problem with defamation is they didn't put this information out there publicly themselves. They didn't intend to publicize this. This was something that was leaked, right? So I think the liability, once again, Cinder and Redacted, anything that Redacted is responsible for can go on Cinder. 100% here. 100%. Right? And once again, I know people don't like it, but that's the problem with hiring a manager. It's the problem with hiring the manager. And do I think they'll actually bring something? No. I actually don't think they will bring anything. I think that, people are pretty adverse to lawsuits. Lawsuits are expensive. They're not going to gain you much. I don't think they'll bring anything, but could they? Yes. And do they definitely have grounds to complain? Yes. Could they even say, we feel the law was broken and be justified saying that? Yes. Yes. Like the law was broken. I could do something about this, but I'm not going to, is probably the response. Tech Daddy said, just tuning in, but this is the announcement I'm waiting for. Yeah, I'm glad. A lot of people asked me for it, and I wanted to talk about it. Once again, I don't have anything personal against Cinder. I didn't know much about Cinder before this. I know about Lily. I know about Bao. I know about Cotton. That's about the people I knew in this. So coming into this, I had no really personal stake. And once again, other than like a couple Bao like memes and streams and a couple Cotton things I've seen and played, it's not like I have any personal relationship with any of these people. I don't. So, this is a cool one. Someone says, Lily said they can't calculate the damage to Bao. Well, no, they could. It's very easy. The damage to Bao is at minimum the cost of the model because she had to go elsewhere to get it. So there is the cost of the model. You could use that as at least a baseline. Bare minimum. Logical Beast said, had another question. You mentioned exclusivity contracts being legal. Yes. What will be the line between being exclusivity and creating a monopoly? Oh, that's easy. How the Logical Beast, think about this. How are you going to create a monopoly of VTuber artists? How are you going to buy out every single VTuber artist out there? That's impossible because you can even use AI as your artist. So how are you going to do that? It's impossible to create a monopoly for artists. Now, there might be a monopoly in certain technologies that are adjacent to VTubing. So for example, software, if there was a software monopoly, that might be a thing. But for art, no, not going to happen. I don't think there's going to be any true monopolies. I'm here with the Scuff says, you wouldn't know the adult voice actor. You know what?
And they're still fucking nerds.
Raven says, real damage to Bao was betrayal of a friend. I agree. That's the thing that hurts the most. I absolutely agree. 100%. 100%. Raven says, the statement sounds like it was Vince McMahon, but it was brain rot, millennial, and clingy. Yes. And I hate that I have to say millennial as a millennial, but I get what you're saying. Raven says, how prophetic that Cinder was worried being in Silver's shadow. Only the fulfilled it by constant gaslighting and guilt tripping. Poor Nano. Sad. Shadow Imagery said, I've seen a betrayal of this magnitude I've never seen a betrayal of this magnitude against a large group of people. TV and movies can't begin to compare. And the thing is, this is what real back of the house chit chat, looks like. This is real, Mean Girls type stuff. It's not nice, but this is reality, and this does happen. It's very much real. Spider Bro says, y'all sure y'all want Cinder? Remember, she cheated and threw Redacted under the bus. Black company, black partner. She's liable for everything Redacted did. So legally, she's on the hook. So and look, I view that as her responsibility, particularly if this is your boyfriend. By the way, you shouldn't be doing that ever. But that said, if you're going to mix business and pleasure, you got to keep a strong hand, and you need to take ownership that you are responsible for everything your manager does. Lonesome Poet XI says it may not be defamation, but it could be considered libel or slander. It wasn't published publicly though. The Redacted and Nano didn't publish this in a paper or put this on X, right? Like it wasn't something that was published for the purpose of slandering somebody, right? Chaos Smash said, I'd rather drink gasoline than be with Cinder. Oof. Okay, so that's what I got on the Cinder stuff. Obviously, if more comes out, I will let you guys know. But that's what I got for that. Guys, I love covering VTuber issues. I'm never going to stop covering VTuber issues. I'm happy to be doing it. I'm happy to be covering it. And I'm going to be in this industry and talking about legal stuff and giving it my take on it, my legal business take on it for a while. People aren't always going to like it. Sometimes people will not like my takes, but I'm going to give you guys facts in an entertaining and educational manner. That said, if there's more on this, I'll stay tuned on it, and I'll see if anything is coming up. We're going to have a Somali stream tonight, so stay tuned for that. And all the haters, we know what they're going to be doing, and that is...
You are coping the ceiling. You just can't believe what you're seeing. Yes, you're coping the ceiling. The truth it is all day, and now you are molding.